Hello everyone, I'm PvtHudson, and this is The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, a misleading title if there ever was one. I played through this cooperatively with my friend. It took us around 16 hours to beat. For the first 8 hours I sat there thinking to myself, why on earth is the metascore for this game so low? Are these professional paid reviewers fucking retarded? Then for the next 8 hours I sat there thinking to myself, why on earth is the metascore so high? Are these professional paid reviewers fucking retarded? Van Helsing is a Diablo-like action RPG developed by the Hungarian studio Neocore Games, known for their King Arthur series. Van Helsing combines a lot of the quality of life tweaks developers have been adding onto the genre ever since Diablo 2 became bigger than sliced bread. Some of these include the companion and pet system, the ability to respec your character without ever having to be afraid of gimping them, and the ability to disenchant and unsocket weapons without destroying either weapon or gem. However, the game is plagued by tons of bugs, performance issues, and its multiplayer component should not even be considered playable. The setting of Van Helsing is a brilliant one, which combines medieval Europe with the supernatural, stuff like werewolves and vampires, and a touch of anachronism through guns and robots. The graphics and aesthetic are all very well done, and the spell effects look cool, whether it be an enemy exploding from a massive crit, frozen enemy exploding into shards of ice, or even flame spells burning the grass around you. Van Helsing has superb presentation throughout, features very high quality voice acting, and a fantastic soundtrack. Van Helsing's biggest issue is the fact that it was announced as a trilogy a year before the first game was done. I believe this led the developers to cut corners just about everywhere. For example, the story doesn't take off, or even get going for that matter. Van Helsing gets a letter requesting his help in a city that's taken over by a crazy scientist. You spend the first half of the game getting to the city, then the second half battling the scientist and his minions. Then you get a cutscene and that's it. Wait for part 2. No thanks, I'd rather not. Van Helsing launched with only one playable character class. 2 others were later sold as downloadable content. The Hunter class is as vanilla as you get. You have 2 skill trees, one for ranged and one for melee, and your build options vary from being either a ranged physical or elemental damage dealer to a melee physical or elemental damage dealer. Specialization is required because the level cap is 30. Yes, 30. And you will reach this cap before you even finish the game. Both of the elemental and physical trees are mutually exclusive, so it's either one or the other. Essentially, once you reach the end of the game, you will only have 3 active combat skills. This is pathetic. Neocore realized this, so they implemented a power-up system, which uses the Rage resource. Rage is accumulated by simply landing auto attacks. You can then expend Rage on these power-ups by pressing the A, S, or D keys. Each skill has its own set of Rage power-ups, and they range from slowing the enemy, setting them on fire, doing bonus AoE damage, and so on and so forth. It tries to spice things up, but I personally left the setting for the computer to do all this automatically for me. Not out of laziness, but out of the sheer fact that the majority of this game, even on Heroic, was easy, and I never saw the need to micromanage my combat. The paid classes that came out months after release are much more interesting. The Thaumaturge is a spellcaster with a wide variety of elemental magic, and the arcane mechanic is a ranged-only mix between a flamethrower and bombardier that can deploy summon mechanical units or stationary turrets. What I really did like was the companion Katarina. She's a combination of the pet system from Torchlight and the companions from Diablo 3. She has a lot of dialogue, 3 combat stances, can be used to store or sell equipment, has her own equipable inventory slots, and has her own stats and skills that are leveled up. The gameplay is what you would expect from an action RPG. You receive a wide variety of quests from NPCs, then you go out to kill a whole bunch of monsters, you get better equipment, and you upgrade your character. Van Helsing does nothing new and nothing out of the ordinary in this regard, but it's still fun. The combat is genuinely satisfying, even though it isn't deep. They throw a lot of enemies at you in this game, and to me it's always satisfying wiping out hordes of monsters. Van Helsing plays better as a single-player game. This is partly from the limitation of the character classes and customization in general, but also because the multiplayer is barely fucking functional. If I received $1 for every bug we discovered or every time one of us crashed, I'd have enough money to buy the studio out and fire everyone for their incompetence. Firstly, if you join other players' game, then your progress is not saved. It's not carried over to your single-player one. While your character, the levels you gain, the inventory, all that is saved, the quest line isn't. So either play this from start to finish with your friends, or just play it alone. Secondly, the load times are excruciatingly long. Enjoy waiting for your buddies to transition to new areas. Thirdly, the most interesting aspect of the game is the secret lair, and that doesn't even work in co-op. Around halfway through the game you get access to your base, which has a wide variety of vendors and has an engineer that can build upgrades for it. There are also tower defense side quests where you protect your lair from waves of monsters while building traps to help stop them. Your allies do not have access to the upgrades that you build. They also cannot build towers, and they cannot even participate in the fucking tower defense itself. The game just locks them out. Fourthly, the game constantly fucking crashes during area transitions.
My game crashed yet again. My game crashed.
It just fucking crashes. This is a common problem that was never fixed. I found a forum post where a developer states that, maybe if you cap your frame rate to 60, it might fucking help it. Oh yeah? Well, maybe if you bothered to learn how to program, we wouldn't be experiencing this fucking issue. Well, guess what? It didn't fucking fix shit. Please, go to options, turn off respawning enemies. This is for your sake. I guess it's kind of good that the maps aren't randomly generated. And I guess it's good that the map doesn't clear after a restart. Fifthly, this is the last boss fight of the game. It took us 40 fucking minutes to fight this guy on Heroic, only to have him glitch out of the map and render him unkillable.
Can we try to locate? Actually, wait, that's the second floor to this, isn't there? There is. I can't walk.
Pale moonlight.
Oh boy. Well, I guess might as well just look at the items in the meantime. Real boss fight.
I'll show them all. I'll show them.
The game runs like complete shit in general. This wasn't an issue for the first half of the game, but most of the latter environments simply run like shit. I was getting around 20 FPS in some interior areas, as was my friend. I find it shocking that a game that has not one, but two settings for multi-GPU optimizations somehow runs better with both disabled. The maps are not randomly generated. There are pros and cons to this. For the most part, the maps are unique, very pretty, and well designed. They also have hidden puzzles and quests that rewards players for exploring the map in full instead of simply rushing to the exit. The con is that the game is 20 gigs in size. Yes, 20 fucking gigs, somehow. I don't know, don't ask me. Some may argue that this hurts replay value as well, but there is no replay value in Van Helsing regardless. Remember, there is a hard level cap of 30. And there is no endgame content either. I mean, you can replay the game on never-ending story mode, where you fight level 30 plus monsters on the same maps you just cleared, or you can play scenario mode, where you also fight level 30 plus monsters on the same maps you just cleared. What's the point? There isn't one? You might get a better item drop that'll speed up your pointless farming, I guess. There are glory levels. This system is similar to what Blizzard is currently doing for the upcoming Paragon 2.0 patch in Diablo 3. You gain glory levels after you reach the level cap, and the glory points you get can be used in secondary attributes, such as attack speed, critical chance, and the like. However, farming these levels takes an eternity, and the minor boost you get is simply insignificant. While yes, you can import your character into part 2 of the trilogy whenever that comes out, but from what I experienced in this game, there's no way in hell I'm buying part 2, and you shouldn't buy it either. Hell, you shouldn't fucking buy this one. If you're somehow still genuinely interested in Van Helsing after watching this video, God knows why you would be, then I'd urge you to hold off until the entire trilogy is complete. There are far better games out there in the same genre, and some are free. Neocore have rushed out an average game, then proceeded to sell out extra content for it without fixing long-standing issues. Both extra character classes and the second skill tree for Katarina were sold for real money, which is absolutely deplorable for an action RPG. Let's not forget that people who pre-ordered this game got an exclusive permanent boost to their magic find. If you plan on buying the second game, you can probably expect the same treatment. Buy a buggy game for $15, then pay $10 for additional content. These three games and their content combined will probably end up costing you more money than a new game in the long run. I paid somewhere around $6 to $7 for Van Helsing and all the DLC included, when it was on sale. Let's just say that if I spent that money on a couple bottles of 40-ounce malt liquor, then I would have experienced more fun and much less headache.
Underground headquarters. You serious?
Yep.
So does that mean the server? Yes. Of course.
Oh no, dude. Creatures respawn.
It's 5:48 a.m. Let's do this tomorrow.